Welcome to homework.
So here we can draw the free body diagrams for mass of B and mass of A. So mass of B, we have, let's put this lower. At an angle here would be force tension. This would be theta. And going straight down would be the mass of B, G, or essentially the weight of mass B. Here, we have going straight to the right, force tension. Sorry, this would be mass of A. Going straight up would be, of course, force normal. And then going straight down would be the weight of A. So we can say that for the mass of B, sum of forces in the x direction, this would equal force tension sine of theta. And this would equal the mass of B times the acceleration. Sum of forces in the y direction would be equal to force tension cosine of theta minus m sub B times g. This would equal 0 because it's not moving up or down. Therefore, force tension cosine of theta would equal m sub B g. Now, let's square these two expressions and say that force tension squared times sine squared theta equals m sub B squared times the acceleration squared. We can say force tension squared cosine squared of theta would equal m sub B squared times g squared. And then we're going to add them together. So we can say that then force tension squared multiplied by sine squared theta plus cosine squared theta. This is going to equal mass of B squared times g squared plus a squared. This is a trigonomic identity, and this is going to cancel out and equal 1. So because we know that sine squared plus cosine squared is going to equal 1. And so we can say that force tension squared equals mass sub B squared times g squared plus a squared. Now we're going to analyze mass sub A. So for mass of A, sum of forces in the x direction would simply be equal to force tension, and this would be the mass of A times A. Sum of forces in the y direction would equal force normal minus m sub A g. This is equaling 0 because it's not moving up or down. Therefore, force normal would be equal to m sub A times g. And we can equate the two expressions for force tension squared and then solve for the acceleration and the applied force. So we can say force tension squared equals m sub B squared times g squared plus a squared. So I'm just rewriting this, but now this is going to be equal to m sub A squared times a squared. So we can solve for a squared. This is going to be equal to m sub B g. Both of these will be squared divided by m sub A squared minus m sub B squared. And we can solve for a. So a is then going to be equal to m sub B times g, and then the square root of m sub A squared minus m sub B squared. And then we can solve for the force. This will equal the total mass times A, or this would equal m sub A plus m sub B plus m sub C, all times m sub B times g, all divided by the square root of m sub A squared minus m sub B squared. This would be the final answer for the force applied. That is the end of the solution. Thank you for watching.